So if you are thinking about leaving your clinical career, you already know that there are things that you need to learn, there are things that you need to unlearn, and also you need to figure out where you want to go. So there's a lot of time required for all of these things. And many of us, when they are in their busy clinical careers, really struggle to find that time. Let's talk a little bit about what you can do to make the most of your limited time. Number one is figure out where you can free up time. So that is true for the clinic and it is true for your private life. In the clinic, quite often doctors end up doing a lot of things that they really shouldn't be doing. Find new printer paper, look for, swabs or whatever it is. Try to say no more often and to not do the things that people are trying to shove onto you when really somebody else could do it just as much as you could. The second one is your private life. If you are still cleaning your home yourself, you are probably doing something wrong. The money is really well invested in letting somebody else do that. The same is true for cooking. Like, don't go buy every day or every second day. Don't cook every day unless it's your biggest hobby. But try meal prepping. Try to prepare some foods, make a bit more for the week, put it in your freezer. That will also save you some time down the road. And you might think that some of the things, it only takes me 10 minutes. But the point is you have to add these things up. Add it up per week, per month, per year. And you will quickly find that you could save days out of things that until now just seemed like very minor things. And then you add all of these up and suddenly you find you have a couple of hours on top of what you thought you had every single week. And that's going to make a very, very big difference, especially over time. So then the second part is try to get new habits. Expand the type of news that you read. You're probably reading a lot of medical literature. Try to substitute some of that for, subscribe to the A16Z newsletter on what's going on in healthcare, life science and biospace. I personally love to subscribe to Quartz. I read that a lot, and I love The Economist. It's good for us anyway, as doctors, to understand the wider context of the world that we operate in, regardless of whether we are in a clinic or not. Then try not to have dead time, right? You can use audiobooks to make use of your commute. If you are in the train or in the car, or if you are working out, if you're cooking, don't do just that. Try to, at the same time, listen to a podcast, listen to a YouTube video that you find inspiring, that you wanted to learn. YouTube is rich in content that can really propel you forward. You can look at Y Combinator's content, the Diary of a CEO, so many things you can find that will really, really help you to understand how people in this world outside of clinical care think, what the top topics are, and there is very good knowledge to be gained from all of these things. Try to kill your social media, or if you really don't want to get rid of it, then only follow people that provide highly educational content in the fields that are interesting for you, so that when you end up scrolling to relax a little bit, you feed yourself content that is relevant. To me, the information we consume is very similar to the food that we consume. It will really affect your mood, your way of thinking, your personal growth, and so on. So be very, very careful what you expose yourself to as you are death scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it might be. And so the next thing is also try to, and that sounds a little bit hard, but there is this saying that progress comes with a lot of goodbyes. Your social environment will change, not 100%, but you will have to wave goodbye to a couple of people that, at the moment you would find that probably hard. And you have to start with that already. So swap some of your medical community meetings, of your evenings with your colleagues in the hospital, or some of the conferences you would go to, and switch that with meetups, for example, in the startup space or in the industries that you are interested in going to. So some of it is you will just have to to exchange one thing you've been doing for another, right? We can't just always add up more time, as you know. It is limited, so there will be some hard decisions, and this will probably be the toughest one. The next part is try to understand and really think about the concept of leverage. We are not used to that. We are used to doing service business, which means we trade money for our time. We treat one person after the other, and that's pretty much all we do. Yes, we publish, and once you've published it, it can be read by everybody around the world for the next decades. Yeah, but that's more the exception for us. In your new life, try to think more about these types of analogies to the article, right? Try to do things that bring you leverage. That could mean that you start your side projects as things that are supposed to bring you some money, and you can use that money by, for example, investing it or just saving it, or by buying things that save you more time somewhere else. Because time is the key thing that you're lacking, and that's the one that you need to figure out how to free up. So if you do things on the side, yes, you will be doing things that teach you something, but try to do things where you can learn. So for example, try to get an advisory board role with a startup if the startup world is interesting to you, and make sure that they pay you for it. And then also try to collaborate with people that have two key characteristics. Number one is they need to be in a field that's completely away from yours. Don't try to do a startup with another doctor. There's very little use in most cases. Try to do it with a computer scientist or with an engineer or a business person or somebody else. And also the second part, make sure that these people are highly self-motivated and driven, that they come back to you with new ideas, problems they identified and then solved before you even realized it. And make sure they're not people that you feel you have to chase and send another email, hey, I was just wondering, is there an update, and so on. If that happens, pull out rather soon, unless they have a very good reason and it really seems like a momentary thing that is not representative of how they normally work. The other part is you will have to invest time and money into your learnings. And the good thing is, in the beginning, you can start with things that are very flexible. You can, as I said, go on YouTube, just watch something whenever you have the time. Make it comfortable, right? Do it in the bathtub, go into a cafe, have a walk while you're watching it or listening to it. You don't always need to watch it. The next step up would be to take courses that end up with some sort of certificate in the end. They also will afford you a lot of flexibility, especially these online courses. Which then means that if there's a busy week or two, it doesn't disrupt that learning journey. You can just pick it up afterwards. Just make sure you do. And the other thing you could try, and I know a lot of people never consider it, but it's really worth it, is trying to see if there's a scholarship in your country or in the country you want to go to do some sort of a master's degree. And even if you did not have the best grades, often they like to have doctors on their program so much that they treat you differently. And that it might be a little bit easier for you because of the experience that you bring with you and because of the educational background that you have. So that could fund you enough time to take a program, to take some time off, to have a structured educational journey, with also, frankly, enough time to also then do some other things on the side that set you up for success on your next journey. So try that, research it, and don't be afraid. Just apply. What can happen? The next thing that I would recommend is try to reinterpret everything you do in your life as a learning opportunity. So make, for example, if you want to become an innovator, make the innovator mindset a daily, hourly habit. If you go through the hospital and you go about your work, always also have your innovator hat on. Think about what are the things that are not working here. Write them down, take proper notes, learn how a proper startupper would document these things, how they would form hypotheses. Figure out if maybe you can even create some sort of a minimum viable product that you can test. A lot of startups struggle to get into the clinic and have access to patients and doctors to talk to them and try out things. You have that. So make it your habit to act like an entrepreneur, even if you are still full-time in your clinical career. It will train your mind, it will bring up ideas, and it will teach you a lot about yourself, and also you will quickly find out if this is really something that you enjoy doing. And now, to conclude, all of these things in and of itself are really important. They add up, especially over time. It's like compound interest, right? The more time you have available, the earlier you start, the more time of your lifetime you will free up that you can invest. Be very mindful of that. Try to be extremely disciplined on this, but also be soft on yourself, because of course life will get in the way. Of course there will be, weeks that are so tough that you will be too exhausted to think about anything else than recovering from your clinical day to day, right? Or you will not have slept enough or whatever. So accept that, but then pick it up again. The consistency is key, as always, as with nutrition, as with workouts, and so on. So the setbacks are fine. Think long term. And with all of these things, I think you can do the most. That's what worked for me. And gradually, every new thing that you need to learn, you will also learn more from, because your body of knowledge is already quite big. So it will become easier to assimilate new bits of information, new skills, and so on. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any comments or questions or further ideas on things that I should be talking about, and I'd love to record a video for you.